Sunday update for you here at the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. I'm meteorologist Matt Noyes. Look, this storm coming in for our Sunday evening, night, and Monday is a milder storm than the last couple. Now, you'd think that's a good thing, right? Not necessarily, because instead of snow, you're going to get freezing rain. It does go to rain in southern New England, northern New England, a little snow for some, sleet and freezing rain that goes to freezing rain in some pockets of plain rain. Look, the cold ground definitely plays a role here, right? We've had snow and ice still left over from the last system of only a couple of days ago. Anywhere you have that, it's like a refrigerator on the ground. You're going to start to ice right out of the gate. Power outages are going to result for some of us. I'm going to highlight exactly who I'm thinking about with that coming up in a few minutes. Last storm, we heard from a bunch of you saying, Matt and Danielle, where did you go? I can't believe I just found you again. If you're just finding us again, it's always great to be with you. We've been here building this 1 Degree Outside. Get the app. It's the best way to follow the radar because what I'm going to show you now, of course, is going to become dated depending on when you watch it, right? In terms of the overview on what we think is going to happen with the radar forecast, it's going to be western New England around 7 p.m., shortly after dinner time. Between 7 and 11, you get an expansion of precipitation, which in pink is freezing rain in this case, maybe a little sleet on the north side. Notice when you get down along the south coast, mild enough for raindrops. That'll include the Cape and the islands and even the South Shore. Right at the seashore, you probably rain, but just a mile or two inland, you may get a touch of freezing rain before the warm air starts to come in. Warm air will keep making inroads, but by 5 a.m., notice even if Worcester can warm, which that might be a little generous, but either way, Fitchburg's at 32 and even around the 495 belt. See the pink? So you still have pockets of freezing rain ongoing at 5 a.m. Certainly the case when you come into central and southern New Hampshire, central and southern Vermont as well. We get to 8 a.m., and a lot of us in southern New England have warmed by that point, although, again, right at the state line and certainly north of that, even though you see these temperatures bump up, first of all, again, maybe a little generous by a degree or two. Secondly, there absolutely will still be pockets of freezing rain throughout this area in pink. The snow expanding up the Maine Turnpike over the course of tomorrow, pre-dawn into the mid-morning, then eventually changing over to sleet, freezing rain, and rain, while northern Maine continues to snow. Rain showers tomorrow during the course of the midday and afternoon come to an end late in the day to early evening. Notice if you're a winter sports enthusiast, you never really warmed up that much in northern New England, so you don't lose that much snow before colder air comes in. I do not think this will be a flash freeze on Monday evening and tonight. I do think it will be a freeze, however, that takes place as we get into the overnight period for just about everybody. So it'll come down to where the moisture lingers in spots. In terms of ice, mostly in southern New England, a light glaze, a travel impact, the need for application of road treatment and reapplication as the precipitation comes down during the night tonight into the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning. Once you start getting west of 91 and you come into the eastern slopes of the Berkshires, we will find a heavier glaze. That's the case in northern Worcester County and coming along the Mass New Hampshire state border. This is where there certainly is a travel impact, and there may be isolated power outages. As you start to come into central Vermont, running from Rutland to Royalton, and then you make your way into central New Hampshire and particularly the base of the White Mountains. This is where we have the chance to pick up half an inch of freezing rain and ice accretion, which would be a high impact. Scattered to perhaps multiple power outages. The farther north you come, the more sleet and snow you get mixed in. So as a result, the less in the way of freezing rain component you have that comes across the North Country, particularly central and northern Maine. Part of the issue in terms of that ice is how much precipitation comes down from the sky. I mean, in parts of central and northern New England, you're looking at over an inch of precipitation that comes down. The farther south you go, it's more like probably a third of an inch to a half an inch by the time all is said and done. Again, the snow part of this isn't really big for a lot of us, but I mentioned it's going to snow on parts of the Maine Turnpike during the course of Monday pre-dawn to about mid-morning. So that puts down anywhere between an inch or two when you come along much of the central and northern part of the Maine Turnpike. Crown of Maine probably picking up a couple of inches. It's a wet consistency snow this time around. Notice those high temperatures near 50 in southern New England, but like I said, winter sports enthusiasts, you're not going to lose a ton of snow because you never really get that mild across the North Country. Then the wind starts to blast Monday night. I'm going to get to that in a minute because I think that may cause new power outages Monday night to Tuesday morning. We'll talk about that. Generally, it's a blast of cold air coming in, some upslope snow showers in the mountains on Tuesday, getting ready for the next system, which is a cold front, and that one is going to bring with it some more perhaps snow showers Wednesday evening or night, and another blast of colder air for the end of the week as well. So in terms of that wind, it's not bad when you get into mild air coming in. In fact, in some of the areas that pick up the ice, you really don't have that much wind at all while it's happening. So at least you're not adding insult to injury yet. The issue is going to be as we head into the course of our Monday evening and night, that cold front comes by, it opens the door to stronger wind. Gusts will go 40 to 50. High-end forecast that we have is about 60 or a little bit better than that in the hilly terrain of Worcester County, the Berkshires, the Southern Greens. Obviously, even gusting to 25 or 30 is a problem in these areas that picked up significant ice. New power outages will result when the wind starts to kick up on Monday night for your area in particular. Notice low temperatures Monday night do drop down to about 20. Again, I don't think it's a flash freeze, but obviously any moisture that's out there and kind of lingering is going to freeze up. And the wind chill on Monday night going to drop down to the single digits for a whole bunch of us by the time you get to dawn on Tuesday. Tuesday's a cold day. Temperatures are running in the 20s, teens north. The wind is still blowing, so the wind chill colder than that. And there is an impact for mariners. Not so much, again, during the day on Monday, but really it's that Monday night, Tuesday wind when it starts to howl that's going to kick up the seas. And once you start that process and start churning the seas, you're going to kind of stay that way for the next few days because there are a series of systems that come in, particularly Wednesday and Thursday. If you're into snow sports, little insider heads up here. Yep, we've been talking about the promo code we're running through the end of this month at snowsports.onedegreeoutside.com. What we haven't been talking about is something pretty exciting, which is we're going to have a pretty good giveaway going on for our 1 Degree Outside enthusiast members. So check that out if you're into winter sports. Look forward to seeing you as needed over the course of the storm. Of course, we'll have an early update for you Monday morning at 1 Degree Outside.